Hello everyone, how's it going, and welcome back to today's Wild Rift video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Jinx's sister, Vi. This is going to be a beginner's guide, so we're going to show you everything that you need to know about Vi, the abilities, what build you should be going, and we'll have gameplay to show off to you all as well. Now, without further ado, let's get cracking and head into today's Wild Rift video. Vi is a fighter that is played in the jungle. Vi is a very mobile champion that has plenty of ways to gank and dive on top of the enemy backline. She's able to lock down high priority targets, immediately forcing those targets and their teammates to deal with her presence, or she will kill everyone. Moving on to the build with Vi, you want to build a mixture of damage and tankiness, so when you're diving onto the enemy backline, you could deal a lot of damage and also survive a long amount of time. For the first item, we have Trinity Force. Trinity Force gives Vi all the stats she needs and also has really good passives. You have the Spell Bay passive, which is using an ability, causes a next attack used within 10 seconds to deal bonus physical damage, and you also have the Rage passive as well, which is attacks grant 20 movement speed and kills grant 60 movement speed for a few seconds. Moving on to the next item, we have Sterak's Gauge. Sterak's Gauge gives you that maximum health that you need to keep yourself alive. You also have the Heavy-Handed passive, which increases your base attack damage by 50%. And you also have the Lifeline passive as well, which damage that puts you under 35% health grants you a bonus shield that decays over time. For the boots, we have plated steel caps. You can also go for Mercury treads as well if you are against a lot of magic damage and enemies that have a lot of crowd control. For the boots upgrades, we have stone plate. Stone plate allows you to be more tanky when you're in fights, increase your health by 65% while reducing damage dealt as well by 60% for a few seconds. And if there are 3 or more enemy champions nearby, it increases their health by 130% instead. Moving on to the next item, we have Guardian Angel. Now, sometimes with Vi, you can dive a little bit too far into the backline and you can die for it, but instead with Guardian Angel, you can resurrect. Upon taking lethal damage, it restores 50% of your base health and 30% mana after a few seconds of stasis. And after these 3 core items with Vi, you'll have enough damage available. So after this, you just want to build more tanky items so you can survive a lot longer. With that in mind, Randuin's Omen is a great tank item for Vi. It gives you maximum health and armor, and it also reduces their damage from critical strikes by 15%. Now, most of the time with Vi, you are going to be using your ultimate onto the enemy backline and on that Dragon Lane AD carry, and most of the time they'll be doing a lot of critical strike damage to you. So with Randuin's Omen, it reduces the damage of critical strikes, and it also reduces the attack speed as well. And for the last item, we have Spirit Visage. It gives you maximum health, some health regen, magic resist, and ability haste, which is all really nice stats for Vi. And it also increases all your healing, regen, and the drain effects on yourself by 30%. Onto the runes. First up, we have Conqueror. You gain stats of Adaptive Force when hitting a champion with separate abilities and attacks. And it stacks up to 5 times, and when you do get them full stacks, you deal bonus adaptive damage to champions. The next rune, we have Brutal. Brutal gives Vi a little bit of extra attack damage and armor penetration early on. This is really helpful for Vi when she's clearing out the jungle. Hunter Titan, great rune for Vi. Gives you a little bit of maximum health early on, and every time you get a unique takedown, it also grants you more maximum health and a little bit of tenacity. So if the enemy team has a lot of crowd control, all of that will be reduced. And for the last rune, we have a Pack Hunter. While near allied champions, you gain movement speed, which is really nice when you're trying to gap close onto the enemy champions. And for each unique ally you participate in a takedown with, you gain 50 gold, and the allies gain 50 gold as well. So it gives you a little bit of extra gold, but it also helps out your team at the same time. And for the spells, as always, as a jungler, you want to take Smite to be able to secure them objectives, and allows you to upgrade your Smite as well to the Chilling or Challenging Smite, depending on what situation you want. Chilling Smite allows you to slow down enemies, and Challenging Smite reduces the damage of whoever you smite. And for the other spell, we have Flash, which is the go-to spell for most champions. It teleports you a short distance, so you're able to gap close even more onto the enemy backline, or it allows you to flash away to safety. Moving on to the abilities with Vi. First up, we have her passive, which is Denting Blows. Every third attack on the same enemy deals a percentage of their maximum health as bonus physical damage and reduces their armor by 20%, and grants Vi attack speed as well for a few seconds. Denting Blows makes Vi an excellent champion at dealing damage to both squishy champions and high health champions, and also makes her clear speed through the jungle that little bit faster. Moving on to Vi's first ability, we have Vault Breaker. It has a hold part and a cast part to this ability. The hold part charges up a powerful punch, slowing your movement speed by 15% while increasing the punch's damage and dash distance. And when you cast the ability, Vi dashes forward, dealing physical damage and applying denting blows to all enemies here. Colliding with an enemy champion stops the punch and knocks them back. Vault Breaker is Vi's main ability that allows her to be mobile throughout the whole game. In the early game, you can use Vault Breaker to go from camp to camp and allows you to go over walls so you can clear the jungle quicker. And in the late game, you can use this ability to dive onto the back line, even hide in bushes as well, so you can surprise your enemy and kill them with ease. Onto the second ability, we have Blast Shield. Has a passive, hitting an enemy with an attack or ability grants a stack of Blast Shield for up to 5 stacks. And the active part generates a shield that absorbs damage for a few seconds, and each stack consumed adds health on top of the shield. And that maximum stacks also grants a burst of 70% movement speed as well. Above your second ability, you'll see a number. This number represents how many stacks you have of the Blast Shield. And most of the time, you want to make sure you have your 5 stacks of Blast Shield before you use it. This will give you that extra movement speed to chase down enemies, and it will help a lot, especially during them tower dives. Onto Vi's third ability, we have Excessive Force. Empowers Vi's next attack to deal bonus physical damage to the target and enemies behind it. And Vi stores a charge every 8 seconds and can hold 2 charges at once. And for the ultimate, we have Assault and Battery. Vi chases down an enemy, knocking them up for a few seconds and dealing physical damage. Vi reveals her target and cannot be stopped while chasing it down. Enemies in the way are knocked aside and take 75% of the damage. Assault and Battery is Vi's way of diving onto the backline. It's a point and tap ability, just make sure that you use it on the right target. But be careful, because if the enemy does have flash or a dash available, they can use this to dash or flash further away, which might put you in a pretty awkward spot. Moving on to the skill order with Vi. At level 1, you want to go for your second ability. This will give you a nice shield early on when clearing the jungle, so you can stay healthy for a long time. And at level 2, you want to go for your third ability. This will allow you to deal that AoE damage, which will help you clear the jungle a lot quicker. And then after that, you actually want to max your first ability first, making sure that you level up your ultimate whenever possible. Now, your first ability is your main mobility tool, so you need to make sure you max this so you have less cooldown and you can deal more damage with it. And then after your first ability, you want to max your third ability, and then after that, you want to go and max your second ability. The reason why you do your third ability is because this is your main damage tool when clearing the jungle, and you can do a lot of damage to champions as well. And then your second ability, your final one, is just to get that little bit of an extra shield later on during the game. In conclusion, Vi is a very strong champion in the current meta and is one of the easiest junglers to master. In the early game, she has one of the fastest jungle clear speeds of any other jungler, and her damage output is surprisingly high. Then when it gets to the late game, you can lock down high value targets and carry your team. And there you have it. That's everything you need to know about the Piltover Enforcer Vi. She is a very strong champion to play, and you should definitely look at adding her to your champion pool. If you enjoyed the content on this channel, make sure you leave the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what your thoughts of Vi are. And as always, take care, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Peace.